Well, first, I would like to ask everyone to please stand for the national anthem. Please be seated. I am Bob Curry, the board chair here at KGI, and on this wonderful sunny May morning, I would like to welcome all of you on behalf of the Board of Trustees, the faculty, and the staff. It's a day of celebration, of welcoming our graduates through their 2-year journey here at KGI. And to begin, I would like to ask Reverend Catharine and Grier Carlson from the Office of Chaplains to deliver the invocation.
Albert Schweitzer wrote, "At times our light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lighted the flame within us. We are privileged here today to be in the company of many who have fired our growth, ignited our thought, and who have provided the warmth of friendship and love on our journeys here. Let us pray together. On this day of joy, O God, we are grateful for the many gifts you have given us, for the flame of service that marks the unfolding mission of KGI, for the love and support of families, friends, and colleagues, for the guidance and encouragement of professors, the dedication of trustees, administrators, and staff members, all in the community of KGI. We thank you on this commencement day, especially for our graduates, for the richness of their talents, for their accomplishments and aspirations, and for the vitality and commitment with which they have illuminated KGI. We ask that you would bless them as they move forward. May you give them courage, confidence, and hope as they meet new challenges. Give them wisdom and compassion, and help them contribute what they have learned here to light the world. We pray all these things with gratitude. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Carlson. Now we have a tradition here at KGI, and one of the first pieces of business that we look to is we ask all the graduates to rise and to look towards their parents and their friends who are here and applaud their parents and friends for taking this journey with them. Thank you. Now I would like to ask President Schuster to please come to the podium.
Thank you, Chairman Curry. It is my deep pleasure to welcome today's graduates of Keck Graduate Institute, the class of 2009. KGI's 8th graduating class, the new alumni who are initiating KGI's 12th anniversary year. I also extend a special welcome to family, friends, and guests who come together today to celebrate this commencement. We are honored to be joined by members of KGI's Board of Trustees, Advisory Council, faculty, and staff. On behalf of the KGI community, I welcome you to KGI's campus. William Rosh was chosen by a group of students, staff, and faculty to deliver today's student speech. Will graduated from Stanford University in 2007, earning a degree in biological sciences. He was the first student from KGI to perform an internship at the Food and Drug Administration in the Office of Orphan Drug Development. On campus, Will has been active with admissions and was one of the students who best understood the art of networking in his effort to learn about the intricacies of running a modern-day biotechnology company. He focused on the business of bioscience and has recently accepted a position with Baxter in their operational rotation program. It is my pleasure to welcome Will Rosh.
Thank you, Shelley. Before I begin, I would like to dedicate this speech to a good friend and classmate of ours, Sha Chang, who unfortunately could not be here today, but who has been a friend and a peer to many of us, and who I know has taught me a great deal about other cultures and perspectives. My heart goes out to Sha today. So, here we are at graduation, having spent 2 years learning much of what we wanted to and never intended to learn about the healthcare industry. Some of us had the experience of getting debbed for over an hour of conversation and life guidance with our gregarious professor, Deb Chakrabarti. Others escaped unscathed. Some of us spent countless late nights studying in the TMP rooms or slacking in the student lounge at KGI. Others spent that time in their condos in sleepy Claremont, Upland, or, God forbid, Pomona. Some of us displayed our prowess on the IM fields, others in the KGI potluck cook-offs, others in the Steiner holding contests at the Oktoberfest, and still others in the countless memos that we had to write for Steve and Gary. Some of us tried our best to go out and experience the exciting nightlife of the Claremont bars. Others stayed at home and bided their time until they could move on to greener pastures. Some of us hiking up Mount Baldy, or fishing in Big Bear, or sightseeing in LA. Some of us found a focus in medical devices, regulatory affairs, drug discovery and development, or bioprocessing, while some of us just stuck with business. However, one thing that we have all experienced together since coming to KGI is trying to explain what exactly our MBS degree means. After trying to explain this degree to the 2,000th person, I tried to come up with a story that could at least help me understand my own degree. So a PhD grad, an MBA grad, and a KGI grad are in a race to climb up a mountain. The MBA, known for his ability to wheel and deal, gets his hands on the best climbing equipment that money can buy, and heads up the mountain as quickly as he can. The PhD grad, who had expertise from studying a particularly quick path up the mountain, draws up a detailed map of that path and heads up as well. As for the KGI grad, well, she had been studying the whole landscape of the mountain for the past 2 years. And while she had learned a fair deal about that mountain, she also understood that there was still a great deal more to know to become an expert. Thus, the KGI grad decided to pick a particularly broad path up the mountain and climb it carefully, exploring all of the alternate paths along the way. A few days later, a snowstorm hits, causing avalanches on that mountain and altering several of the pathways up to the top. While the MBA had made significant progress up the mountain up to that point, he was disoriented by the snowstorm and, with little knowledge of the overall landscape, could not progress any further. The PhD grad, who had also made substantial progress, found that his path had been covered by the avalanches. With little knowledge of the mountain beyond his specific path, he could not progress further either. The KGI student, however, used the knowledge that she had accumulated on her climb up to carve a new path up to the top of the mountain. So the moral of the story is that the environment, especially the business environment, as we have seen, rarely plays by the rules, and we frequently experience snowstorms that change the way in which we must operate in order to become successful. Therefore, it is important to know the entire landscape well to be able to adjust. One thing that I firmly believe KGI does well with its broad curriculum is to set us up well to do this. We are entering into a market currently in the throes of a financial crisis that is threatening innovative biotech companies, while mass consolidation within the industry is causing layoffs and hiring freezes. In addition, rising drug development costs, along with Medicare reimbursement pressures, are causing many to question the model that today's life science companies use to be successful. This is quite a time to be the new kids on the block. And I say this both to reflect on the interesting timing that we have had in entering into the job market, but also to point out that the healthcare industry is currently in a snowstorm, and we have the fundamental tools to make sense of it. One of the best pieces of advice that I have ever heard is that the biggest problems provide the best opportunities to become successful. Every major crisis comes with a silver lining, and that is that in the midst of all this chaos is an opportunity to innovate and surpass the incumbents of the so-called old system. I believe that not only is this true, but we are better prepared than the vast majority of our peers to find these opportunities and capitalize on that silver lining. So how do we capitalize? We might not have the resources or the networks of the MBA grad, or the highly specified knowledge of the PhD grad, but we do have a broad understanding of the healthcare industry that many of our peers lack. We understand how Medicare impacts the healthcare industry, how the FDA regulates drugs and devices, how physicians interact with drug companies, and how healthcare companies design, manufacture, and market their products. We understand the big picture. And not only will this understanding help us progress more quickly in our careers, it also gives us a unique vantage point across the various areas of the industry landscape that may help us solve the many challenges that face our industry today. However, we are not there yet. We have the capacity to understand many aspects of this industry. However, in order to reach the point in which we can really have an impact, we must continue to learn and further our understanding of these concepts. From now on, when we hear our bosses and mentors talk about contract research or manufacturing, PMAs, NDAs, and 510Ks, or crossing the chasm, we will know what they were talking about. Rather than blocking these terms out and concentrating on what we already specialize, we will be able to ask questions, knowing how these concepts fit into each other and increasing our knowledge and capabilities. We came into KGI with an interest in the healthcare industry, but little knowledge of how it worked, how it is changing, and where the problems and issues lie. 2 years later, we graduate KGI with a better understanding of how our industry works, how it is changing, and where the problems and opportunities for us lie. The job market may not be pretty, but our broad knowledge base provides us with the capability to progress and succeed from wherever we continue on in our careers. However, we need to make sure that our learning does not stop after today. Our advantage over our peers is our general understanding of the healthcare industry, which gives us a more comprehensive view than the PhDs and a deeper understanding than the MBAs. However, this comes at the expense of the advantages and experience and expertise that many of our peers from these other programs have. Thus, in order to leverage the degree, we must use our broad knowledge that we have gained in order to explore alternate paths along the landscape and gain the capability to become guides for others and future leaders in the healthcare. Congratulations, class of 2009. I look forward to our reunion when we are all leading this industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. Louis Schamel entered KGI after having spent several years in the bioscience industry, most recently as a research associate at GenProbe. He is a 2003 graduate of the University of California at San Diego. While on campus, Louis was a superb example of a student leader. His first year, he serves as curriculum representative, and this year, he was an effective and energetic student body president. In pursuing the MBS degree, his focus track is the business of bioscience. He did his internship at Amylin Pharmaceuticals as a business development intern, and he is currently looking for the next perfect experience after KGI. Louis.
I'd like to first just talk a brief bit about the student government this year. I'd like to first thank all the members of the second year class that were a part of the student government. Hans Smith, communications representative, worked on getting information out to the students, including improving the student government's presence on the KGI website. Anders Chan, second year ethics and judicial representative, along with first year rep Sarah, made wonderful progress on the honor code and began the process of establishing a set of bylaws for the student government. Andrew Doherty, sports representative, led us to many a victory and a volleyball championship in IM sports. Joanne Nilplub, a second-year curriculum representative, faithfully reported our comments and concerns about the KGI curriculum and orchestrated student, faculty, and staff awards handed out yesterday. Ben Pavlik, safety representative, proactively addressed safety issues in labs and around campus, all while proudly wearing his safety helmet. Jenny Sheng, external affairs representative. She worked to increase our connection and familiarity with activities at other Claremont colleges, especially with regard to taking classes at the Drucker School of Management. Charlton Smith and Reed Snowden were our second-year social representatives. Charlton got us started in the first semester, followed by Reed, who finished up the year. Both contributed heavily to ensuring that we all had a great time and took the occasional break from our studies. I'd like to thank you all. Now briefly, a few of the accomplishments that we attained this year. First, we reworked the student government a little bit in order to increase its effectiveness as a group, redefining a few of its positions. Second, we had some great events that I hope will become traditions. The Oktoberfest and the Spring Barbecue, led by the International Cooking Club. Everyone participated, students, faculty, and staff, and I'd like to add special thanks to Reed, Snowden, and Sarah Koo for those. Major progress on the honor code and adding structure to the student government by initiating the use of a set of bylaws was a very great accomplishment by Anders Chan, and I think it will be a really good addition to the future of the student government. We started using the student government Sakai site for getting our activities out to the rest of the student government, or to the student body, and we had a fantastic grad party at the end of the year, and thank you to first year Tony. And to the class of 2010, thank you all to the first years in the student government as well. We had a great year together. Your new president, Matt Verbrugge, will lead you through a great 2010. To the faculty and staff, I hope some of the momentum made by my class carries on into the future. There will always be students at this school that, over their time here, will see ways they can make an impact and will truly wish to leave the institution better than when they arrived. In the process, they will also come to understand the challenges faced by the administrators of such an ambitious endeavor. I would like to encourage the administration of KGI to continue to find new ways of including these student leaders in the growth of the school. Thank you all for your encouragement and support over the past 2 years. Finally, I personally wanted to be president because I knew I had an unusual opportunity to make a real impact on the future of this institution. I truly hope that my efforts and that of those mentioned today were able to improve our school in at least some small way. The Keck Graduate Institute continues to grow and change, and we as students have a unique perspective to contribute to its development. I'd like now to introduce Madonna Baruzzi, the chairman of the Class Legacy Gift.
Thank you, Louie. As the chairman, I would like to take this opportunity to thank my class for their contributions towards the class legacy gift. This year, we raised over $3,000, and this is a considerable amount considering our class size and the economy. Our class wanted to give something that would be used by faculty and students on a daily basis, and by popular vote, we decided to buy a set of sliding whiteboards for the 517 lecture hall. This will be a very useful and practical addition to the institution. In addition, it is tradition for those graduating to select a quote that is reflective of the class. We have selected a quote from Sir William Osler, a Canadian physician, and it reads as follows. In science, the credit goes to the man who convinces the world, not to the man to whom the idea first occurred. This quote can be seen on this plaque, and this will be added to the alumni pathway and the alumni patio. Finally, I would like to thank the class for such a great 2 years. I wish you all the best of luck and keep in touch. Thank you.
On behalf of all of us at KGI, please, let's thank the class of 2009 for this generous and thoughtful gift. At this time, I'd like to invite DiRocco to the podium, please. When I first met Hong and Don, they were very pleased Thomas would be attending KGI and enthusiastically offered to be engaged, supportive parents. Hong, I want to thank you for serving as a Pioneer Fund parent chair and participating in the Family Giving Program. You are a superb example of how parents can be active, supportive members of the KGI community. Thank you for your time and energy.
Thank you, President Schuster, and thank you, KGI, for this opportunity to make a few remarks to the parents of the class of 2009 and to the class of 2009. Parents, thank you from the bottom of my heart on behalf of KGI for your response in your gifts to support KGI. Thanks to you, we exceeded our goal for 2009. And on top of that, we tripled parents' participation for the first time. I hope that in the future, KGI will continue to deserve your support. For that, I'd like to suggest a round of applause for all your generosity. And congratulations, by the way. Class of 2009, I know some of you, so I've met you from day one on the day of preview at KGI. Some of you have come to my home on your way to your internship or during the holiday breaks. I have regarded you as my own children, and it's been a pleasure to have known you. I wish you the best in your endeavor, be it the military, be it government services, be it postgraduate school, obtaining your PhD, be it in private industry. Whatever you do, remember that you have chosen the noble profession of a bioscientist. I hope in years to come that I will see you again, and that at that time that I will even be prouder that you have done your research in discovery, applying your skills that your professors and your parents have endowed upon you to serve humanity. You are the 8th graduating class of KGI. You are the 8th precious cargo that the KGI faculty has delivered. Be proud, and I wish you the best. As you go along, there's one thing I'd like you to remember. Go forth, but do look back with gratitude to your family who've given you all the support and love. Remember your alma mater, where they prepared you for KGI education. Remember your classmates at KGI who have been through thick and thin with you. And remember to stay with your professors and KGI support system, because there is no headhunting network that can help you more than your family, your friends, your teachers, your mentors, and your classmates. So, best wishes and congratulations, and go seize the day.
And now, we honor a remarkable individual whose achievements inspire and guide us. He will receive the degree of Doctor of Applied Life Sciences honoris causa in recognition of his contributions to Keck Graduate Institute and the field of bioscience. To present the honorary degree recipient, it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Jim Sterling, Interim Vice President for Academic Affairs and Dean of the Faculty.
By vote of the faculty of Keck Graduate Institute and with approval of the Board of Trustees, I'm pleased to present Stanford N. Phelps with the degree Doctor of Applied Life Sciences, honoris causa.
Thank you, Dr. Sterling. Please allow me to read the citation. Distinguished KGI Trustee Emeritus, whose extraordinary devotion to education and science has benefited academic institutions and students across our country, you enrich our lives by promoting practical knowledge, seeding partnerships, and inspiring lifelong learning through your guidance and in your book, Make a Difference. Extraordinary business leader, your long, illustrious career as a dynamic entrepreneur and one of the nation's leading business experts is an exemplary model for success. As a driving force between S.N. Phelps and Company, Commonwealth Oil Refining Company, and Clear Springs Land Company, you continue to be fully engaged in a business career that has spanned nearly 50 years. Visionary philanthropist, your innumerable acts of generosity have created the Phillips Science Center and the Phillips Academy Center at Phillips Exeter Academy, enhanced the scientific and medical research at both Yale University and Harvard Business School, your alma maters, and enabled KGI to move forward in research and teaching. Therefore, today, with great pride, we recognize and honor you for your dedicated service, foresight, visionary philanthropy, and guiding wisdom. Upon the recommendation of the faculty and with the approval of the Board of Trustees of Keck Graduate Institute, I have the pleasure and honor of conferring upon you, Stanford Phelps, the degree of Doctor of Applied Life Sciences, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges appertaining thereto. In testimony thereof, I am pleased to present to you this distinguished academic hood and diploma. Before I ask Dr. Phelps to make a few comments, I have to note that we received a message from his team in Clear Springs, Florida, and they asked me to read it to us. And apparently the word of this degree has gotten out sooner than we had anticipated, because they already are addressing you as Dr. Stan. Dr. Stan, we wish we could all be here to share this grand moment with you. We are pleased that you are being honored by KGI for your vision and many contributions to educational pursuits, both near and far. We are proud to be members of your team and wish to congratulate you on receiving an honorary doctorate from KGI. You're the best. Signed, your Florida Clear Springs team. It is now my honor to ask Dr. Phelps to say a few words.
Brevity is terrific. Many thanks go to Robert Day, Hank Riggs, and Shelley Schuster for talking the other trustees into awarding this PhD. Nothing has been more fun or more rewarding than trying to be helpful to KGI. We're really here today to honor the faculty and the graduating students of KGI. They are the brightest future and surest foundation of the Institute. All the good institutes in the country, such as Harvard, Yale, MIT, all started with a small, dedicated faculty that attracted good students. Some of the students gave back to their schools, and that's how it all started. Your future is brighter than these Ivies because KGI is younger and growing faster. Your professors have given you a more curious mind and the idea that perseverance will conquer the toughest problems and always beat genius. These two qualities helped Galileo achieve Phase 1 status, particularly with his curiosity. He discovered that the sun, not the earth, was the center of the universe. Pasteur's standout as a Phase 2 star started with pasteurization. Thomas Edison's excellence in Phase 3 grew with his extraordinary perseverance with the light bulb. You will all be successful if you major in these two qualities, curiosity and perseverance. Never be afraid to try something new, just like Thomas Edison. Remember, amateurs built the Ark, professionals built the Titanic. We learn from dinosaurs, but young scientific minds like your own will ensure our future. You will be remembered for what you give, not for what you get. The widow who gave 2 mites has been remembered for over 2,000 years. The only reason you put your name on a gift is so that the classes behind you will give more to a good cause. KGI may be one of the best causes available. May God always bless you and give you a great future. Amen.
Thank you so much, Dr. Phelps. It is now my pleasure to welcome our very special commencement speaker. Let me start by saying that Myrtle Potter is somewhat of a legend. Just read her bio in the commencement program and you'll quickly see why. Before starting her own company, which advises public and private life sciences corporations and boards of directors, she was president and chief operating officer of Genentech Incorporated, where she produced record sales and earning growth during each of the 5 years she led the company. Before that, she served as president of Bristol Myers Squibb's $4 billion U.S. cardiovascular metabolics business and was vice president of an $800 million Merck business unit. A person of many talents and accomplishments, Ms. Potter has been recognized not only by industry, but in the popular media as well. This year, Glamour magazine honored her as an everyday icon. She is that and much more, and we are delighted that she is here with us today. I now present the distinguished speaker of Keck Graduate Institute's 8th commencement, Myrtle Potter.
Well, President Schuster, Dr. Phelps, President Riggs, Chairman Curry, faculty, family, trustees, and of course the graduates. I thank you so very much for this wonderful, wonderful invitation, and I have to tell you that it really does warm my heart to be in the company of people who care as much about the life sciences and about healthcare as I do. I'm not going to spend a lot of time today talking about my career because I think you can read that, and if that's not enough information, you can certainly go on Google like young people do and read until you're sick of reading. But what I do want to talk about are the things that I think made the difference in my success. And I think that these things are important because I am someone who truly, truly does believe that anyone sitting amongst you today can not only achieve what I've achieved, but you can even go beyond what I have been able to do in my 30 years of working. I truly do believe that. But I also have a very clear perspective on the things that I believe made a difference. And I think probably the biggest gift I can give to you is to share some of that with you today. First of all, to know and understand me, you have to understand where I've been and where I've come from. I grew up, I was born and raised in a very small town called Las Cruces, New Mexico. Wow, who knows where Las Cruces, New Mexico is? Yeah, so Las Cruces, New Mexico is a very small town. It's about 45 miles northwest of the Mexican border. And at the time I was growing up there, it had about 20,000 people in it. It was really a wonderful American town. You know, the kind of town with Friday night high school football games and bonfires and pickup trucks. And if you didn't have a pickup truck, you couldn't really claim you really were from New Mexico, because in New Mexico, everybody has pickup trucks. I have a very big family. I'm one of 6 children. I have 4 sisters and 1 brother. My mother actually moved to New Mexico when she was 11. She was the daughter of a sharecropper, and her mother was a maid. She met my father, who was in the military, and there they made a wonderful, wonderful life. But anyone who knows me knows very well that I am the last to take credit for my success. My success comes from my upbringing and my parents and the values that my small town and my family gave to me. So in that sense, I don't care where you have come from. I don't care how tragic your life has been or how great your life has been. The one thing I think that is really important is you can never, never forget where you came from. And you always have to look at what you learned when you were growing up to understand what you can take from that upbringing and carry it with you. Because in your most difficult times, I will assure you that the things that will get you through will not necessarily be the advice from a friend. It won't necessarily even be advice from a mentor. It will be those things that you learned when you were growing up that will steady you and guide you and give you reason to put one foot in front of the other. One of the things that was really instilled, and of course when you grow up in a small town, you can't get away with anything. You know, by the time you've acted out in school and by the time you get home, the whole town knows, including your parents, who are chasing you down to make you pay for your sins. But part of what is wonderful about that is you get a very solid basis of integrity that gets reinforced in every part of the community. And the reason why I have to talk about integrity is not because of the meltdown on Wall Street and not because of all the things we're seeing in the financial markets, but because when you make a commitment and you decide that you want to operate in healthcare, from my perspective, there really is no greater calling. To really serve mankind and humankind, as we've heard earlier, is just about the most noble thing that you can do. And if you can't operate with integrity within that environment when you're dealing with people's lives, you're dealing with the approvals of drugs and manufacturings of drugs where, you know, I remember many quarters at Genentech where we lost batches and batches and batches of product that cost us hundreds of millions of dollars because it just wasn't quite right. If you don't have the integrity to do the right thing, not only will it hamper your career, it can cause irreparable harm, and quite frankly, once you lose your integrity, it's something you can never, ever regain. There is no price that even challenges that. So integrity is very important. The other thing that I learned very early on was the importance of setting the biggest, loftiest goals you possibly can. And one of the greatest gifts my parents gave me was one simple thought, and that was that we as their children could do absolutely anything we set our mind to. Now, we were just naive enough to believe that. And boy, you have to think big to be in New Mexico in a pickup truck and end up being president of Genentech. But I'll tell you a really quick story that just illustrates this. I was in high school, 17 years old. If those of you follow the educational system, you know that New Mexico doesn't rank at the top in terms of academic achievement or academic resource. And I was getting pretty bored as a 17-year-old in college, and in high school. And I remember going to my parents and telling them that I wanted to quit high school. Now, my parents were just perplexed and quite frankly, really concerned. But I was bored to death, and I decided that I wanted to start college, but I wanted to go to the University of Chicago. I didn't want to go to the local university. And I was the second in line, and my father said, you know, we can't afford that. You know, at the time, University of Chicago cost as much as the Harvards and the Yales and the Princetons cost, and certainly with 6 children and both parents and modest incomes, we didn't have that kind of money. But I said to my father, listen, you have to help me go, and I'm going to prove to you that I'm not challenged by the local university, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take 4 or 5 junior and senior level courses. And if I ace these courses, you have to promise me you will do whatever you can to help me go to the University of Chicago. And so at 17 years old, I went off and took these courses with 21, 23, 25-year-olds, and I aced these courses. And my father kept up his end of the bargain. He literally mortgaged his house to send me to the University of Chicago. My sister after me went to the University of Chicago. My other 3 siblings after the 2 of us went to the college of their choice. And suffice it to say, when we all got done with our educations and were working, we finally got his house out of hock for him. But I tell you this story because it speaks so boldly to thinking big and getting the wonderful support that you have from the faculty here and your family to say to yourself, I can do whatever I want to do. And I just want to acknowledge just the wonderful insight of my father and my mother. My father's very ill today. He's in the cardiac care unit at Stanford, and he is seriously ill, but so I'm thinking about him. But what a wonderful, wonderful blessing. And I want you to take that with you. Think big. Don't let anyone tell you that what you want to do is too big, that what you want to do is too hard, that what you want to do hasn't been done before. That's not how you'll be measured. No one can put those kind of collars on you. Those are the collars that only you can put on yourself. The other thing that I want to say to you is that as much scientific knowledge as you have and as much training as you have, there will be many times in your career when you will have to trust your gut, where you will learn that your instincts about a business problem or your instincts about a situation are as meaningful and as powerful as your academic and analytical prowess. And I want you to hold on to that, because when you speak with successful business leaders, especially those who are cutting new ground and doing things that have never been done before, they will tell you that it wasn't the overwhelming set of data that led them to say, for example, that we know Avastin will work in cancer, that will make them say, we know we can make the coolest computer that the earth has ever seen. It's not the data that leads to those insights. It's gut and it's instincts that give you those insights. So please remember that, because I think it will be important. I also believe that, and this might sound a little harsh, but I don't think you can be a star at something that you don't love. One of the things that you will have that is really wonderful is a broad set of choices from which to choose a profession. I would encourage you to make changes if you're doing something that really isn't making you passionate about what you're doing. Because great insight, great thinking, great problem solving comes when you love something so much, you almost can't stop thinking about it. And I've been fortunate, many of us and many people I know aren't fortunate enough to have found the things that you love that give you passion and give you excitement. So if you're not sitting in a situation where you're doing something that you love, have the courage to step back, reevaluate, and think about, what is it that I really want to do, and where am I really going to find my passion? The last two things I would share with you are pretty straightforward, but I think it's worth repeating. You will never have great success if you are not prepared to work harder than anyone around you, period, full stop. As much as you read about relationships and political prowess within jobs and labs and corporations and within academia, at the end of the day, it's really amazing. The harder people work, the more successful they become. It doesn't get much fancier than that. And certainly when you understand my path and my history and where I've been and hopefully where I'm going, the one thing that you will know and understand is that there was always just an overwhelming amount of hard work that went along with that. And it was hard work not because I was looking for a promotion, and in fact, I've never asked for a promotion. As many jobs as I got, and my first job in industry was selling adult disposable diapers for Procter & Gamble. So I have had a lot of jobs between that and being the president of Genentech. The one thing I can assure you is I never asked for a promotion, and that was part of my value set. I really believed that if I did what I was supposed to do, which was to make a contribution in every single job that I had, make that job, make that responsibility, make that corporation better than it was than before I took the job, then if I couldn't do that, I didn't deserve to be promoted. And so I was recognized. But it was on the back of tremendous hard work on the foundation of values that I was so blessed to get from my family. So I will leave you with those thoughts in one last thing, which is that you are here today because you have people who have been exceptionally generous to you. Your families, your friends, your colleagues, your professors in this wonderful, wonderful institution. Start right now, today, and decide how it is that you will give back. Not only within your jobs that will reward you as well, but there will be others who will come behind you, others whose lives that you will touch, who will look to you as the example, who will want to know your story for how you became successful and how you made your mark. It is very, very important, and it's something that you should just never forget. So I thank you for this tremendous honor. I thank your family and your friends who have been so generous with their time to come out to support you today. And I wish you all of God's blessings and all the success that life will bring to you. Thank you very, very much.
Mr. Chairman, with great pleasure, I present the candidates who have successfully completed the requirements for the degree of Master of Bioscience.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty, with the Board of Trustees of Keck Graduate Institute concurring, I hereby confer on you the degree of Master of Bioscience with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto.
Will the candidates come forward to receive their degrees and hoods? Samuel Angama. Faustine Apavu. Mandana Beruzzi. Sebastian Brasseur. Anders Lo Chan.
Congratulations.
Krishna Lekha Datta.
Congratulations.
Andrew Doherty. Thomas Victor Nguyen DiRocco. Anshul Kamara. Sarah Bethany Koo. Danny L. Quo. Alan Yunzak Lee. James Mark Liu. Rachel M. Mullen. Joanne Nilplup. Candace Teresa Olfati. Kaushal K. Parikh. Benjamin Jenner Pavlik. William August Rosh. James Robert Rankin. Jeffrey Daniel Rosenblum. Christina Lynn Ruskus. Louis B. Schammel, Jr. Jenny Kinman Sheng. Nicole Cindy. Charlton A. Smith. Hans Peter Smith. Reed Snowden. Tanya Stevens. Ranjani Sundaram.
Congratulations.
Julie Lisa Valdez. Raghavan Vasudevan.
Congratulations.
Cyrus Robert Verde. Eric James Wilson. Congratulations to the class of 2009.
well. And you can, if you wish, move your little tassely guys over there to the other side. Well, welcome to the newest alumni of KGI. It is my pleasure to introduce Ryan Peeler, a 2007 MBS graduate who is speaking today on behalf of the KGI alumni. Ryan was able to parlay his internship experience into steady employment as he has been employed at Lynx Research as a project manager since graduation. Ryan is a great example of how to be an active alumnus who not only volunteers his time but supports the advancement of the institution. Since Ryan's graduation from student to alumnus, he has been an active participant in the Student Mentoring Program and Industry Spotlight Day. Ryan has attended many alumni networking events and focus group discussions. Most recently, Ryan was one of 5 alumni who came to campus as part of an alumni panel discussion with students. Ryan keeps in touch with his class and has strong ties to alumni from all classes. Thank you, Ryan, for your time, and we appreciate you being our first alumni speaker at KGI. Ryan.
Good morning, and thank you. It's exciting for me to be here today, and I would like to thank the alumni for their unwitting support for letting me represent them on this occasion. Again, welcome to the family and friends who are part of this day. Being back up here conjures all sorts of memories for me from 2 years ago. It's a joyful occasion because you've completed this monstrous task and you're pretty excited you've done it. Check. But also you're fearful of what the future holds if you're like I was. It's especially true today for anyone who's read the newspapers in the past year, I suppose. I graduated in older, simpler times. I had a job when I graduated. It's still scary. I wonder, what happens if my company collapses right, when I start working? I'll have to look for another job. Or worse, what if my company does really well and I hate what I'm doing? Fortunately, the startup I joined is doing pretty well, and I really like it. So, what would I have wanted someone to say to me 2 years ago on this day? I think probably the 2 requirements I had were, get on with it and maybe give me some sage advice, and I'm going to try to do that. So again, congratulations, and I have a little story to tell you that you may have heard because it's a pretty old story. So I hope you'll pardon me for reaching back to the annals of history for this source material, but the Greeks had some pretty interesting things to say 3,000 years ago, and 3,000 years from now it'll probably still be interesting. I want to talk to you about sirens. And the sirens, if you'll recall, were a dangerous half-bird, half-human, so this is a hybrid, creature who lived on these small rocky islands. And they sang these beautiful songs that enticed passing sailors to come to them, which resulted in the sailors wrecking their ships on the rocks and in some cases being eaten by the sirens. And the 2 most famous stories regarding the sirens that I want to look at are Odysseus and Jason. So Odysseus had been warned of the dangers of these creatures, and he was advised to avoid them at all costs, but was told that if he really wanted to hear their songs, he should have his men plug their ears as they're going by with beeswax and tie him to the mast of the ship so no one would be enticed by the songs. And Odysseus had his men do this, and as they passed the island, the sirens began to sing beautifully, promising him wisdom and knowledge of the past and future. And he was completely enchanted by their song. He struggled with all of his might to break free, but his men, who couldn't hear the songs, bound him even more tightly until they had passed safely away from the reach of the voices of the sirens. Now, Jason and his crew were a little bit different. They were also on a quest, and they'd also been warned about the danger of the sirens. And what they had, their secret weapon was a guy named Orpheus. And Orpheus was the most talented poet and musician of the times. And so as they got close and they started to hear the siren songs, Orpheus pulled out his proto-guitar, his lyre, and he started playing songs that were more beautiful and louder than the songs that the sirens were playing. And basically he had drowned them out, and no one wanted to go. So, as you leave today, and for the rest of your lives, you'll have these sirens, and you'll have to deal with them. And so what are the sirens in your career, I guess, what I want to talk about for a minute. They're going to come sooner than you think. They might even come, next week, a year down the road. How are you going to handle them? Are you going to tie yourself to a mast of a ship and have everyone around you jam their ears with wax? Or are you going to make something beautiful, do something that you love, and navigate your ship safely on its course? So I lost my place, which is what the sirens will do to you. So the sirens of modern life are money, title, power, prestige. And I want you to remember that if you're not doing something that you love, you're wasting your life, and you may not be as fortunate as Jason or Odysseus. And I'll invoke yet another fellow from antiquity, this time from Rome, Seneca the Younger. And in pondering the issue of the preciousness of our days, he remarked, "It's not that we have a short space of time, but that we waste much of it. Life is long enough, and it has been given in sufficiently generous measure to allow the accomplishment of the very greatest things, if the whole of it is well invested." So let's fast forward back to modern times, and I want to talk briefly about what being an alum means, and considering how precious our time is, and how to make the songs irrelevant in our careers. I'm hoping that my 4 bullet points will treat you well. So first, let me welcome you to the alumni community. Pretty soon, if not already, you should be getting your alumni email address and your new car. They're still doing the car? Oh, I think the economy might be having some effect on that, so sorry. So I encourage you to get involved in as many ways as you can. There's the Pioneer Fund, which I'm sure you've heard about and you will continue to hear about. And contributing to that means that this day will happen a lot longer. Today's not going to be longer for anybody, but this day in the future will continue to happen. I also encourage you to volunteer your time to mentor students through this experience. You're done. You know what you did, and you can help someone else. And when you're a captain of industry later, there will be people just like you were who are asking questions, and you can help out. Stay in touch with your classmates. I would also say that's a really important thing. Your classmates that you're graduating with, the class behind you and the class ahead of you, that's about 100 people that you should know pretty well who are in your field, and they want to see you get ahead. And in my class alone, I've seen numerous examples of people hiring KGI classmates or giving business to each other's companies or something like that. So really, it's a big deal, so stay in touch. And right now, you're part of an exciting network of outstanding people who are doing, and in your case, will do great things. So congratulations, don't let the sirens get you, and be an active member of your alumni community. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you, Ryan. That was very nice. I would like to acknowledge with great admiration the lesson your fellow KGI alumnus, Dr. Stan Phelps, has demonstrated. Few, very well selected words and many generous and selfless deeds are the hallmarks of a life of deep meaning and impact. In keeping with the spirit of brevity that Dr. Phelps demonstrates, I would like to discuss, briefly, one component of being direct that is often misunderstood. Dr. Phelps is only able to be concise and insightful because he is also extremely thoughtful, keenly perceptive about people, and purposeful about using his experiences to inform his commentary and advice. We have become enamored by the speed with which our technology has enabled us to respond to any input or to any piece of information. We can email, instant message, and now even tweet at virtually the speed of light. But without reflection and thoughtfulness, a rapid response and an instant message may not impart precisely what we intend, and it usually misses any emotion that we feel. None of you needs reminding of the innumerable disasters caused by what is certainly an extreme of this situation and one of the most ghastly omens of the 21st century, hitting reply all. One of Dr. Phelps's icons of thoughtfulness is Abraham Lincoln, whose 200th birthday anniversary we celebrate this year. We also celebrate the 200th anniversary of the birth of one of the greatest scientists of all time, Charles Darwin. Darwin's voyage on the HMS Beagle, where he collected most of the specimens of both geologic and biological interest, lasted nearly 5 years. After he returned to England in 1836, it took him 23 years of thinking, writing, analyzing, contemplating, and simply living a somewhat sad life before he published On the Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection. The result, of course, was one of the most important scientific works in all human history. After 150 years, this book's bold idea and its thoughtfulness, thoroughness, and clarity, not its speed to press, have made it the cornerstone of all modern biology. It was a result of nearly 3 decades of data collection, analysis, and thought. As you commence your exciting careers in the life sciences and continue your personal journeys, I ask that you spend the time necessary to reflect and think and contemplate before you respond at the speed of email. You have lived in an era of hyper-fast communication and instant access to information, but I caution what you are about to begin is a marathon. Nothing will substitute for thoughtful and meaningful communication or for spending the time and energy to be with friends, family, and colleagues in person, to interact, to listen to them, and to connect with them as the people who love you dearly. So this summer, as you begin your careers and your new adventures, spend some time with those close to you. Thank your friends and family in person, give them a hug, and let them see you smile. You too will achieve thoughtful brevity and close relationships that will enrich your lives and the lives of those around you. You too will make a difference. Now, I ask everyone to join me in a last round of applause for the class of 2009.